Welcome, everybody. I'm Joe from the Game House. Today we'll be doing a Seattle Seahawks 2025 NFL mock draft. The Seahawks are on the clock in our 2025 NFL mock draft series here at the Game House. We'll be doing mock draft for every NFL team before the 2025 NFL draft. We're going to be using the NFL mock draft database simulator. I like the way it meshes big boards from across the internet to make their own big board. And we'll also be rejecting all trades to keep it as realistic as possible. So the Seahawks have gone through some transitions now. We have Geno Smith gone. We have Sam Darnold in. We have DK Metcalf traded. We have Cooper Kupp coming in. So a couple of guys who win in the slots as the wide receivers right now. But this creates an interesting kind of board right now. No wide receivers have been taken at pick 18. And there's some other needs you can go after, but I think you need a different type of wide receiver. Ted McMillan is a bigger receiver to kind of complement Jackson Smith and Jigba, to complement Cooper Kupp, and be another outside target if you want this offense to get going. Yes, they need some offensive line help, specifically, I think, on the interior, but I think you can get that kind of later on in the draft. Or again, maybe sign some guys off the street who are plug and play players who will be decent for this year until you can get a long term answer at those positions. All right, pick number 50. We like one of these interior offensive linemen. And yeah, we'll take Jonas Avenaya out of Arizona, tackle in college, going to move into guard. And I think a guy who I picked 50 second round pick, I think you could take him pretty easily and feel pretty good about it. I'm not opposed to taking another guard later on as well, but we'll see how that goes. Now the Seahawks have taken some corners early in the draft. You know, if you put Witherspoon in the slot and you have Tariq Woolen on one side of the corner, you might need another corner. So for that reason, I'm going Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, a guy who played very very well during his Notre Dame career, but until this year when he got hurt with the hip injury, and I think that. Possibly is limiting his draft stock. I thought he could have been one of the top two or three corners in this draft when it was all said and done heading into this past season. All right, next pick up. I think this is gonna be pretty easy for me again. I think we're gonna go Jack Sawyer, top of the board here. A guy that solid run defender, a good strength. He's not gonna wow you athletically, but will get the job done. And at pick 82, I think that's pretty nice. Darian Porter would be in consideration here as well. I think um, if Morrison gets a clean bill of health, might be a better player. But Porter is a guy who flashes athletically, just limited experience at the position. So let's see what else we can do here. I'm going to double up. I'm going to go Marcus Embo out of Purdue. He is a tackle at Purdue and is going to move inside in the league. He's a guy who's very athletic and moves well. And I think you get your offensive line to your offensive line fixed. That's going to be important if Sam Darnold's your quarterback. We saw that he didn't handle pressure the best last year, especially down the stretch. So I think it's nice to get him there. All right, so next pick up, I think a quarterback could be in play here. Developmental guy behind Sam Darnold as well. Uh, let's see what else we got here. I think the other players might just have higher grades. I mean, it's everyone moves quarterbacks up the board, but for me, I think they have higher grades. Already got a wide receiver, already have an edge, already have a corner. All right, let's go Barrett. I have Barrett Carter higher on my. I think he's higher on my big board than Chris Paul. Either way, getting a similar player, a solid athlete. I want him to see the field better, but maybe some time to develop can help with that at the NFL level. All right, next pick up is pick 172. We've gotten a lot of different positions here, so we'll see. I mean, it wants me to take some of these defensive linemen or running backs. Let's take Rashard Smith out of SMU. A receiving back, it kind of changed the pace a little bit from the Seahawks running backs that they already have up there. Yes, you have Zach Charbonnet. Yes, you have Kenneth Walker, but he's going to be a guy that is strictly going to come in third downs, possibly just like an extra receiver type vibe. And I think that could be really good for this offense. And I think a lot of teams, even if you think you have good running backs, I think you should probably take one in this mid draft class, even if it's in the later rounds of the draft. And we'll just take his teammate. We'll take Elijah Roberts, defensive lineman at SMU. Could be a little bit of a tweener between defensive end and defensive tackle, but he transferred in from Miami, had a pretty good year for SMU. And I think at this rate, I think it's a pretty solid pick there. So we have to wait till pick 223 for the next one. This rate, again, we're just looking for guys who maybe can develop, possibly be special teams guys. I'm going to go Ordonde Gadsden out of Syracuse. Has NFL bloodlines, a guy who's going to be receiving tight end, not much of a blocker. Last pick. go Johnny Cornelius. A really cool story. He transferred up to Oregon from Rhode Island, and I think a guy that could go even a little bit higher than that too, but getting some depth on the offensive line. So let's go back through this draft and see how we did. Pick number 18, Tetaroa McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona, to give a different type of look from the receivers they already have in that wide receiver room. Pick number 50, Jonah Savanaia, the interior offensive lineman out of Arizona as well. 52, the corner, Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, coming back from that hip injury, so we'll see how he does. Pick 82, Jack Sawyer, the edge out of Ohio State. Pick 92, Marcus Bowe out of Purdue, the interior offensive lineman who played tackle in college. Pick 137, Barrett Carter, the linebacker out of Clemson. Pick 172, Rashard Smith, the running back out of SMU. And pick 175, Elijah Roberts, his teammate at SMU, defensive lineman. Pick 223, Oronde Gadsden, the tight end out of Syracuse, is going to be more of a receiving threat than a blocking threat. And then pick 234, Johnny Cornelius, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. So let me know how you think of this mock draft down in the comments below. We'll be doing more mock drafts for every NFL team before the 2025 NFL draft. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.